Welcome to this week's edition of Sun News at Noon. I'm Stockton Myers.
And I'm Frankie Medina. Thanks for tuning in.
Southern Utah University is currently in the midst of a legal battle over the use of pronouns for students. Richard Bugg, a professor of theater arts at Southern Utah University with over 30 years under his belt, is suing SUU after an alleged altercation with a student for refusing to refer to a student using they/them pronouns. Bugg claims that it's a violation to his freedom of speech. The Vice President of Human Resources at the university says it violates many of the policies practiced at SUU. I met with Jeff Jarvis, the Dean of College of the Arts here at Utah Tech, to get his opinion on the matter, and he says that as far as he knows, the staff in the department treat the students with the utmost respect.
I don't know of any issues on this campus with regard to faculty not respecting students in this area. And I'm not aware of any issues that have emerged in the College of the Arts on personal pronouns and how faculty receive and use that with regard to students. The people that I interact with on a regular basis have an enormous amount of respect for students and for what the students are trying to achieve. And the whole faculty, I think campus-wide, has got a deep commitment towards student success.
Students and staff at Utah Tech can reach Title IX for assistance against harassment and discrimination by visiting titleix.utah.tech.edu.
Do you want to enjoy a summer night with your friends without the travel? Well, grab your tents and get ready for the annual campout by the Clock Tower tomorrow, the 16th. The campout will start at 9 p.m. and run into Saturday, the 17th at 8 a.m. Share the night with your friends and make core memories.
Are you interested in competing to be the next Miss Utah Tech University? Then you won't want to miss this meeting. An informational meeting will be held on Tuesday, September 27th to discuss how Miss Utah Tech competition will work. They will also answer any questions that the future contestants may have. If you are unable to attend this meeting, not to worry. All you need to do is message Miss Utah Tech on Instagram and she will help you get registered. To contact Miss Utah Tech University, scan the QR code below.
From Australia to Spain, you can take advantage of Utah Tech University's Active Learning, Active Life motto. There are plenty of study abroad opportunities right under our noses. Leslie Smart and I met with Cindy King to talk about the different options students have for funding and locations with the Study Abroad office.
Hi, I'm Dr. Cindy King, and I am an associate professor in the English department here at Utah Tech. And I will be leading a study abroad course in Greece called Myths and Monsters. So those who are interested in creative writing and Greek mythology, look into doing a study abroad with me in May. There are also many other programs that you can travel to various countries, including Italy, Iceland, Honduras, and study abroad is an excellent opportunity for students to meet other people from different cultures, to try different kinds of foods, and to bond with your classmates for 2 weeks or more over the summer.
Sounds like the perfect opportunity to take if you're looking for an adventure here at Utah Tech.
Join Utah Tech University in welcoming its first student body president since the name change, Devin Dink-Rice. I had the pleasure of meeting with Devin to discuss his plans for Utah Tech as student body president. I'm here with student body president Devin Rice. How are you, my man?
Doing good. How you doing, Stockton?
Doing great. Well, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. We just want to see how things are going and, just hear about progress for some of the things that you promised during your campaign. Is that all right?
Yes, for sure.
All right, great. So let's get started. First off, how's the semester going as the first student body president of Utah Tech University?
It's good. It's good. It's exactly what I expected and not what I expected in all the right ways. It's unique to have this opportunity to be the first student body president at Utah Tech, just because essentially me and my whole team, we get to rewrite the rule book without anyone noticing, is like the way I like to explain it. So it's been a great opportunity so far, and I'm excited to keep going with it.
You stated that some of your platform tasks will be complete by the end of your time as president. What do those include?
Lots of platform points. That's one thing that I found through the process of campaigning, that it's difficult to really dial in and decide which ones you want to go for. But I can give updates on a few of them. Dining services was a big one, and that has already, over the summer, I didn't even really have to help hardly at all with that. we just got a great director, Zach Gates, over dining services. He's been doing wonderful things. I hope you've heard already or experienced it yourself of the new implementations they've had in the cafeteria for dining. We've got a new facility in there that's been doing great. And then we've also, Zach started this program where food trucks can essentially lease out the space for a short period of time to share what they offer, and then they're just going to cycle through different companies. So dining, that's already tackled. I'm going to keep a good close eye on that all year, but that's been great. We've got affordable food like I'd promised, and I don't take any credit for that. That was all Zach and his team. They did great. So appreciate them for helping out with that platform point. But engagement and tackling mental health from the front end, that's the big beast this year. And I feel like we've started out strong. We've had some very highly attended events for Week of Welcome. Weather played a really poor role in a lot of those events, but we still pulled through on them and broke some big records for those major events. So those are the main focal points. Campus safety, we're hoping to get a student panel in the hiring process for the new chief of police, because until then we can't really move forward on a lot of the initiatives we had planned there.
Right. Going back to dining services, and I know you probably hear that a lot in your presidency so far, but going back to dining services, you had mentioned before that you wanted the dining services cost to decrease due to the localized monopoly. For instance, going to Chick-fil-A here, getting a chicken sandwich here is more expensive than going down the street to the Chick-fil-A in the Red Rock Commons. Yeah. So has that been fixed, or is that in the progress of being fixed?
Yeah, so I dove into that a little bit more and dug deeper, because that was information I was given, and then come to find out our Chick-fil-A sandwiches specifically, those are actually the same price as the Red Rock Commons. But say for example, the partnership we have with Ace, that's the group that does a lot of the more Asian foods, the ones that are typically in the refrigerator next to the checkout stands. And
the sushi and the dumplings and stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. That stuff is, in my opinion, very overpriced. It's unreasonable for a college student to pay $12 for a meal that doesn't fill up the stomach of a normal college student. So it's that kind of stuff that you never know until you try it with those kind of things. So I can't blame them too much with that. But the localized monopoly that I mentioned last time we talked, that is a policy that's in place for dining services. And we are going to be looking into it because it's up for its 5-year review later this year. So we're gonna have some strong student voices in on that, just because again, business student, it makes a ton of sense to me that if you've got policy in place that says this is the only provider of food within this radius, no questions asked, why do they have any reason to be better? So. Again, Zach Gates has done great work in dining, so I'm confident that he's going to do great things. But if he ever leaves that position, I would be worried about that policy still being in place. So we're going to fight that this year.
And that section next to the register, like, it's not even that good of food is the sad part. I can understand if it was like expensive and tastes good, but it just doesn't deliver up to snuff, does it?
Yep, that's the general consensus that we hear from students, so that's why we're pushing this one.
Okay, well, thank you for that. You explained in your presidential debate that you wanted student fees to increase due to inflation. Can you elaborate more on this and how that went about with this school's year's tuition and fees? How can students benefit from student fees raising?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because at surface level, everyone's like, whoa, why do you want... It is a little
intimidating right off the bat.
Why do you want to increase student fees? And it's not necessarily that I want to. It's honestly, truly, I don't want to, but all things considered, I do believe it's very necessary to do that, and inflation is just a piece in the puzzle of that. You look at last year, or the year that we're currently in. I don't know. I haven't gotten an update on the exact number for inflation, but last I heard it was somewhere around 9% in 1 year.
It's rough.
So 9%, like just simple numbers, let's round up to 10%. If we bumped up everybody's student fee 10%, we'd be give or take in line with inflation, but that would mean we'd have to up the student fee to give or take $450 per semester per student. And that's just to cover what we already have, not even to mention all the other student fees we're going to be going through this year.
So much, Devin,
course.
for coming by.
Of course.
And we hope you enjoyed it, and please look forward to more of the presidency of President Devin Rice.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Devin also hopes to be more involved in students' mental health by being more inclusive in cultural events and activities. To keep up to date on Devin's changes, make sure to follow the Utah Tech Student Association on Instagram by scanning the QR code below. The peregrine falcons at Zion National Park have left the nest, meaning many of the park's climbing walls are back in business. Zion National Park reopened many of their cliff sides after a group of the migratory birds had made their homes on the canyon walls. Apparently, this is not an unusual occurrence, as the falcons often nest at Zion in March and don't leave until August and September. So if you're thinking about making the excursion to the park, be sure to check ahead of time, because a falcon might just stop your trip from going as planned. Now, Frankie, I'm not sure if you knew this, but as I was researching this story, I found out that peregrine falcons can dive from 0 to 200 miles per hour in 8 seconds. Isn't that crazy?
You know what, Stockton, that is a very interesting fact. Thank you for that fact of the day.
I have 2 cockatiels myself, so I'm a little bird obsessed, but I just wish they were a little more vicious than that. I think it'd be cool if they did that.
Yeah, if only. After the break, we will check in with Stockton to see what's new in the entertainment world.
Everyone loves a champion, someone whose performance puts them head and shoulders above the rest. But not all champions wear a medal or hoist a trophy. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we see champions everywhere we look. In every sport, on every court, we're building a foundation to ensure all athletes are safe, supported, and strengthened. We believe abuse can be prevented by taking a hard look at how we coach, how we train, and how we interact after the last whistle. We have provided over 2 million safe sport trainings. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, ending abuse is not just our job, it's our promise.
Hey there, Trailblazers. I hope you're enjoying these fine tunes on this afternoon. We're at the top of our hour and we have more music on the way, so stay tuned.
If the character is moving too fast for their stride,
Sun News Daily ran a poll on Instagram last week about which media medium our followers prefer. Movies won by a small margin, with TV close behind, and video games was there too. In honor of the poll results, let's talk about 5 movies that you should keep your eye on in the next 3 months. The ending of the new Halloween trilogy will come to a close on October 14th with a final showdown between Michael Myers, no association with me, and Jamie Lee Curtis. Evil dies tonight, or until they reboot Halloween for the 5th time. Fun fact, Jamie Lee Curtis is cool, but you already knew that. I feel like I've been hearing about Black Adam since I was in high school, which was 2015, by the way, and now The Rock's debut into the DC movie space is nearly upon us. It will finally hit theaters on October 21st. Fun fact, Dwayne The Rock Johnson was the highest paid actor in 2020 and is still in the top 5 to this day, only losing to I'll Fly My Own Freaking Plane and Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise. Now let's be honest. I'm going to cry. You're going to cry. When we see Black Panther Wakanda Forever, we're all going to cry. I mean, I've already cried watching the first 2 trailers. At this point, I'm just going to be prepared to solve Utah's drought with all these tears I'll be making when it releases on November 11th. Cool? Cool. A bit of a personal pick for me on this one, but I cannot wait for Matilda the musical. This adaptation of the Broadway production of the same name will release exclusively on Netflix in the US on December 9th. Lucky chaps over in the UK will get to see it in theaters on November 25th. If you like musicals, you're in for a weird ride, but I mean that in the best possible way. Lastly, one that might slip under your radar is my most anticipated movie of the year. and I've said this since January. Glass Onion, a Knives Out sequel, is the follow-up to one of my favorite mystery comedies ever. If you haven't treated yourself to one of the best mystery movies out there, do yourself a favor and go watch Knives Out before its sequel releases on Netflix on December 23rd. Now next week, we're going to dive into the hottest TV and streaming releases for the rest of the year. After the break, we'll check in with Reagan to see what's happening in the world of sports.
At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we see champions everywhere we look. In every sport, on every court, we're building a foundation to ensure all athletes are safe, supported, and strengthened. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, ending abuse is not just our job, it's our promise. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we see champions everywhere we look. In every sport, on every court, we're building a foundation to ensure all athletes are safe, supported, and strengthened. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, ending abuse is not just our job, it's our promise.
Welcome back, Trailblazers. Let's dive into everything Utah Tech athletics. Talk about an exciting weekend. Senior libero McKenna Nelson of Utah Tech University Volleyball is named the WAC Defensive Player of the Week. The Trailblazers went 2-1 over the weekend with wins over University of Nevada and Tennessee State University. Nelson had 72 digs on the weekend and is second in the conference with 146 digs. Utah Tech is home against Idaho State tomorrow and University of Nevada, Las Vegas Saturday. The Utah Tech University women's soccer team is on a 4-game winning streak after their victories this weekend. Freshman forward Lacey Fox scored her first career goal and the only goal against Idaho State University, coming away with a 1-0 win. The Trailblazers took their second win of the weekend against Weber State University. Utah Tech is also went 1-0 against the Wildcats, thanks to a goal by junior forward Carly Nyland. The Trailblazers will stay home this weekend, playing against Stephen F. Austin State University tomorrow night and University of Texas Rio Grande Valley on Sunday. Utah Tech men's soccer took their first win of the season against California State University Bakersfield Thursday night. Sophomore forward Larson Rogers scored the only goal that night for a finish of 1-0 against the Roadrunners. Following their first win of the season, Utah Tech fell to Santa Clara University 0-1 Monday night in their home opener. The Trailblazers will take on Sacramento State for the first time in school history at home tomorrow night. But that's not all Conley can do. Here he is showing us how to lose a defender with a simple sidestep, or 2 or 3 defenders. The sophomore running back was named Western Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Week after his performance against Chadron State Saturday. Kobe Tracy had an easy night offensively, specializing in handling the ball off to Conley. And number 2 would not go down without a fight. I mean, look at how many defenders it takes to drag him down. On this draw play, he's 30 yards down the field before the defense can even react. Conley is labeled as 6 foot, 210 pounds, and he still manages to be explosive. He rushed for a career high of 139 yards on 21 carries, racking up 3 touchdowns on the night. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. Utah Tech handed the ball off to Conley over and over again throughout the night, and Chadron State defense did not have an answer. And that's how you run the football. Utah Tech star running back led them to their first victory of the season over Chadron State, 56-10. The Trailblazers will face off against in-state rival Weber State in Ogden Saturday.
Now you know, Reagan, it's nice to win a game every once in a while. And not just win, but crush it.
Crush it.
I am so proud of them. What do you think about Weber this weekend? Do you think we have a chance?
It hurts me to say this, but I don't think we do. I really don't. We've had this rivalry with Weber State for years now, and I think we've only gotten 1 win in past 10 years, I'd say. So chances are slim, but I don't want to give up on my Trailblazers, so we'll hope for the best.
You know what, Stockton and Reagan, I am so sad that it's not home to give our players that home advantage.
For sure.
I'd love to cheer for them.
We love the home games. There's a lot of spirit, and that stampede is wild. And that's it for this week's edition of Sun News at Noon.
We will see you here next week, same time, same place.
Have a great week, Trailblazers.